he was doing it all too. He even picked up a fumble there from the corner position. So he played a little defense as well, and did a little throw off returning, did a little throwing. I mean, he was every aspect of it. He was involved.
Yeah, when you're responsible for 3 out of 4 touchdowns in a win, that almost instantly makes you the MVP, unless somebody like sails or flies through the air or something and does something special you've never seen before.
Right, absolutely.
And Trey is probably the most humble cat I've seen on the field.
Yes.
And quite honestly, I think that's why the Pit Bosses have been successful. If you guys watched
Humble
that last
leader.
game, or if you go back and get a chance to go back and look at that last game, the Insomniacs' downfall seemed to be the bickering that they were having amongst themselves and with the referees during the game, while the Pit Bosses kept their cool, following their leader, the humble and talented Trey Robinson, who's here with us today.
Right, and that's exactly what I was about to say, too. In that first game, it seemed like the Pit Bosses are a tight-knit group, and they don't fight and bicker amongst themselves. But the other teams seem to do a lot of that amongst themselves and with the refs and even with the Pit Bosses. And when you're doing that and you're down in a hole, it's hard to come back.
You know, it's interesting because you don't hear a head coach say this very often, but Coach Bartley of the Pit Bosses came to me after the game and said, you know why we're good? Because our guys have respect for one another.
Yep.
We don't fight. We don't bicker. We lift each other up. We help each other out. We teach each other. We learn from each other. And that's why we're getting better while these other guys are deteriorating. I said, man, that's saying something.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Never argued, not one time ever. Not one disagreement. Everyone's always on the same page.
Right. Well, and that stems from the
love that.
leadership of people like Trey and from the head coach himself. That's just the head on the head coach's shoulders coming out and showing out in the team.
We'd like to give Bartley all the credit, and he might have something to do with that. He is the head coach, so he should get the credit. But he will tell you, when the best player on your team is well-mannered and respectful and doesn't fight, everybody else kind of has to fall in line, because if he's not getting hot-headed, why do you have the right to?
Yep, exactly.
So, Trey, we appreciate your attitude
Absolutely.
out there, man. And more than that, we appreciate your talent. And even more than that, we appreciate what you bring to the Las Vegas community. So thank you for doing what you do
I love calling your
out
name on the field, brother. I love calling your name on the field. Absolutely.
It looks like we're about to get started. The teams are shaking hands, and we're about to kick off Game 2 of our Week 4 doubleheader live from North Las Vegas at Hunky Cooper Stadium, Canyon Springs High School. The Santa Monica Vibe undefeated at 3-0 versus your Las Vegas Force at 1-2, trying to get their second victory of the season and even up their record at 500. Let's see if they can pull it off, or if the Vibe will stay undefeated and keep vibing.
Nice play on words there. We're getting ready to throw this game, start the throw off of this game here. Referees having one final discussion, getting things in order. It's going to be a 3-on-1 situation. And here is Rosales for the Santa Monica Vibe. Looks like he's going to be the one back to receive the throw off. Yeah.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the draw.
Oh, never mind. I had that wrong. Looks like the Santa Monica Vibe are going to be the ones throwing off to the Force. And it looks like that is number.
I said no most of these guys.
Okay, that helps.
Couldn't see who that is out on the field for the reception. That is 17. That is Braylon receiving the throw off. He's 3-on-1. He's out to the 20 of the left side. Jukes on the sideline and steps out of bounds. They're going to mark him out at the 20. Looks like they're marking him at the 30-yard line. So that was about a 20-yard run there. After he picked it up, it looked like it bounced and rolled to the 10. And that's where the Las Vegas Force at 1-1 and atop the division will take the ball and start out as on their own 30-yard line, looking to drive 70 yards and open this thing up with a touchdown and a score. Got some big guys up front to help them do that. That is Rock in shotgun. Takes a snap, hands it off, and that's big man. I believe that was Crane on the carry for trying to see where they marked him there. They marked him at the 42-yard line, it looked like. That's going to be first down and 10 force, because I think that was 36 on the reception. I couldn't really see the number, but it was a 3-something. Looks like Crane or Wilkerson. Oh, that was Wilkerson, I guess, 36. Rock puts play in motion, throws out, reception by Page at the 49-yard line. Where and out of bounds, where that'll bring up second down. 13:07 on the clock in the first quarter. Score still 0-0. The Force moving the ball down the field. Not quite across midfield yet into Vibe territory. Rock brings guys to the line, takes play in motion, hands it off. That's Wilkerson again, right up the middle, and he gets up to the 46-yard line, and it'll be a first down for the Force at the Vibe 46. And it's going to take more than one guy to bring Wilkerson down, as he has got some muscle on him. There is 12 minutes left on the clock, 12:10 to be exact. Still 0-0. Force moving the ball steadily downfield. Rock, one back in the backfield, one receiver to the right, two receivers to the left. Sends Page in motion. Throws, looking for a reception deep off of the hands of Rosales, who almost comes up with the interception. Incomplete, brings up 2nd and 10 for the Force. It's a nice throw there by Rock. He's got accuracy, and he's got the receivers to back him up. And they're very much a double or triple threat type team. They can run it, they can throw it, and the quarterback can run as well. So, as triple threat option here. Rock in an empty backfield, two left, two right. He takes it. He runs up the middle, jukes the defender. He's around to the 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, and truck down. He took Rosales down with a truck move and ran him right over. Ran Rosales right over after a gain of about 17 yards down to the 22-yard line. Oh, my, Rosales got lit. You don't ever hear that a defender got lit up by the runner, but that defender got lit up. Rosales lit up on that play. Rock brings them guys back up to the line. Two receivers to the left, two to the right. Empty backfield. Man in motion, takes the snap and hands it off. That is Jones. Jones down to the 17-yard line and finally spun out of bounds. Let's see where they mark him. Forward progress may have gotten him to the 15.
Wow, I am still reeling off of that run and Rock trucking the Vibe guy.
Yeah, that was Rosales. He trucked. That's a big guy to truck, too.
Absolutely. Setting the tone early in this game.
You don't ever really hear that the defender got lit up by the runner, but that time the defender got lit up by the runner.
Like we said last time we called a Force game, that is a big old quarterback.
Yeah, he's not your atypical quarterback at all.
No. He's like a bald Tim Tebow.
Yeah. One back in the backfield. Yep. Hands it off. That is Wilkerson again. Goes 15-yard line. 9:14 left in the first quarter. 0-0 still the score.
3rd and about 4 for the Force.
Force so far have been moving the ball down the field pretty steadily.
And in the danger zone, as my partner likes to say.
Indeed. Wilkerson in the backfield with Rock. 2 receivers to the right. Man in motion, fakes the handoff, hands it to Wilkerson. Wilkerson around the right side, up to the 10 and across.
And that is
close
enough for
to
a
the
first down.
5-yard line. Looks like they'll mark him at about the 6 or 7. 8.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Now the force slowing things down a little bit as they're huddling up. Rock in the backfield. Empty backfield.
First and goal from the 8.
One receiver left, one receiver right. Takes a snap. Jukes
Man
to
in
the
the
left.
backfield.
He comes around the left side, gets to the 10, up to the 5-yard line, and spun down by OTF. See where they mark him at.
Looks like the 5.
Looks about
Just short of the 5.
Just short of the 5-yard line. 7:22 remaining.
Second and goal from the 5. 7:10 to go in the quarter.
Rock in an empty backfield. 2 receivers to the left. Takes a snap. Looking to throw all day and throws to the back of the end zone and touchdown.
That's Trey in the back of the end zone.
Is that Dillard Davis on the reception?
No, that's Trey.
That's Trey.
Yeah, number 9, Trey.
Kevin Page.
Used to be Kevin. So Kevin Page is his dad's name. He changed his name in the last year or two. Trey and I actually played a little ball together my last season in semi-pro. He is the guy I was telling you about last time we did this broadcast together. An absolute amazing slot receiver. Spent some time with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFL, and out here in the A7, lighting it up with the first touchdown of the day.
Excellent insight on that.
Little Selly on the sideline. Didn't wait till he got all the way back to the sideline before his Selly.
Rock with 2 backs in the backfield. 1 receiver to the right. Takes a snap. Hands it off. Around the left side. That's Wilkerson. Loses the ball. Picks it back up. But now it's in the hands of the Vibe. And now he's on an open field. And
just a quick
the extra
explanation
point
for the fans at
try
home. The extra
no
point
good.
cannot be returned to the other side for a score from the defense. So once the ball is turned over, that play is dead.
that's just a rule variation here in the A7FL, and that's things we will go over as we get a chance here throughout the beginning of the broadcast.
Oh, yeah. And until the entire country is familiar with our brand of football as they are with the other brands of football in the country, we'll make it a point to educate you guys on the rules. Specifically the ones we know. The ones we don't, we will research and get them to you as fast as we can.
Yep. One of my buddies watched the first game, and that was something he said, man, you guys were really on explaining the rules, but there were some of them that didn't even sound like anybody knew. And I said, it's just things we haven't dealt with yet. It's a new league.
Absolutely. You know, you can watch so many games before you get all the rules as rote memorization, especially when you're watching every brand of football that's available.
And here's the throw.
That's a big arm. Big arm.
Braylon on the
10-yard
throw
line.
to the 10-yard line. Taken. And those 3 wrap him up at the 22 as he returns it. He's trying to get a name on that guy. That is slow.
And a lot of
Slow
beautiful
on the
sportsmanship.
return.
My bad. I didn't mean to step on you.
No, you're good.
Just a great show of sportsmanship on the field. After the tackle, 17 picks up number 12, who's the returner, pats him on the back and says, good job. That's the type of stuff we like to see, especially from competing cities. You know, Vegas and L.A., we love each other, but we hate each other, man. It is
It's a love-hate relationship.
It is
It's gotta
definitely
be.
a love-hate relationship. It is like family. Like big brother beating up on little brother and little brother getting the best of big brother every now and then. And that's where we're at today. L.A. is an established league and an established city in Vegas, we're just coming into our own. We just got the NFL 3 years ago. We got hockey 5 years ago. We got NBA and Major League Baseball hopefully on the way. But we have an A7FL team. We have an A7FL division that takes care of the state.
Cove takes the play in motion, hands it off, right up the middle.
First play from scrimmage for the Vibe.
Rosales gets about 7 on that, it looked like. Or 2 on that.
Partner, they got it. Looks like the bad guy from Scream at the center position, number 33.
Yeah. That is El Nino. That's what he goes by.
Perfect.
33 goes by El Nino for the Vibe, so.
He looks like he should be somewhere in the deep south with something burning in the front yard.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, my.
Barbecue. What's up about barbecue?
Barbecue. Where's your head at? Cove puts play in motion, almost sacked.
Fumble.
Now a fumble, ball's loose.
And
recovered by the force.
And picked
up. Can't tell who that is to number 21.
And into the end zone for a touchdown.
Oh my.
That is the craziest sequence I have seen.
Antoine Rainey picks it up and rumbles into the end zone for the touchdown. Oh, my. They had Jacoby all wrapped up. He went to try to flick it to somebody and instead fumbled it. It got bobbled around and then finally into the hands of Rainey, who walked it the extra half yard into the end zone by the time it was all said and done.
Bad decisions.
2:11 left in the first. It's 6-0 now. Or 12-0.
12-0 should be the score now. But the bad decisions are what seems to be killing the teams out here in Las Vegas today.
We got a discussion with the refs. It looks like they're discussing whether or not maybe because whoever picked it up went to toss it back to Rainey, if that was a legal toss or not. Maybe might be the discussion there. If not, it might end the plate right there where it was at. Illegal forward motion type pass, maybe.
No touchdown, 6-0. And we just got the word from the field. They are taking the touchdown off the board, but I think the Force are still going to keep the ball. We got a unsportsmanlike on the Force. And Force ball, 1st and 10, going the other way. We got it. The score does not hold. That means it's 1st down, Force.
All right, and so the turnover stays, but the touchdown is taken away because of a personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct, on the Force. Now giving the ball to the Force at what looks to be the 12-yard line. It's 1st down, Force. Rock in the backfield. One back with him. One receiver to the right. 2 receivers left. Spread formation. Puts play in motion. Look, throw all day long. Throws to the corner, but wide and outside.
Well, that's likely going to be the last play of the quarter, but we shall see.
We'll see. There's 20 seconds on the clock. It's 6-0 still the score. LA Force just took it over on a sack fumble.
Vegas Force. I got you, though.
Vegas Force, my bad.
No worries. Buzzer.
And that is the end of the first quarter. Score 6-0. Force on top of the Vibe. As they flip field here. It's been all aces. Or all Force so far, I mean. God, I'm calling every team name but the teams on the field today, I guess.
How often do you get to call 2 games in one day and have it called the game 2 weeks ago? So you got all these things still stuck in your head, still trying to learn everything all the time. Partner, we're gonna make mistakes.
I love it, though.
And those mistakes might be what makes our name in this broadcasting scenario.
Right.
Makes our name in this league. You never know.
Hey, me and my buddy on the phone in between games, that was one thing we were talking about was, something we've been good at is figuring out how to get on the air in any situation and making do with what information we have. So, I mean, as we're dancing up here and vibing.
Right. And we're not forcing it either.
Nope, we're not. Hey. But it's, knowing how to roll with what information we have and dealing with what we're handed, and still being able to get it out on the air and make it sound good.
Check it out, partner.
That's the whole entire.
I see the Insomniac star from the first game, Daniel Packer, on the sideline here, arm in a sling.
Full separation of his shoulder is my understanding, done for season.
Interesting.
That was the information I got. I was standing down there by the concession stand, and somebody said just got a text from him. He just got out of the hospital. Full separation of his shoulder, done for.
Yeah, my understanding is with surgery, that's a 6 to 8 week recovery. Without surgery, it's the same, but you run the risk of it popping out every single time.
Absolutely. Unfortunate to hear, too, because it wasn't really a dirty play that took him down either. He just came down awkwardly on that shoulder.
Yeah, listening to the referee after the game, he said the reason he called the personal fouls because he was shoved going out of bounds, and he was clearly going out of bounds. And instead of pushing him out with the hands when the guy just had to touch him, he went full elbows and ran him out, and that's why he threw the flag. I don't think that is what caused it, but it definitely played a part.
Yeah, absolutely. And that does make sense on why they threw the flag as well. So,
it's only 78 degrees out here in North Vegas today, but it's still hot. I was talking to some of the fans in the stands, and they were talking about the heat. We did invest in some umbrellas and parasols for the folks that were made available to them. But if you look at the chain gang out there today, they are hiding behind their markers so they can stay in the shade.
Yes, they are. That's
a good
and
indication
I saw
that it's
some
warm
of the
outside.
umbrellas that are being sold down there too
Yes, sir.
at the booth. I said, you know what? Next weekend, I'm gonna have to bring $20 so I can buy one of those for the wife and kids.
That's
so
awesome.
they can enjoy the shade and enjoy the game.
Well, we appreciate the support, and as we pointed out at the top of the broadcast, we do have shade creeping in from the west side of the stadium where the pit bosses have all decided to set up shop and are watching the game right here next to the broadcast booth. If you hear all the chatter and giggling over here, it's the pit bosses celebrating their victory and watching the game for the guys they're going to be playing in the next couple weeks.
Rocking an empty backfield, puts play in motion, throws. That's caught by Brown. Brown jukes to the end zone and taken down at the 1 yard line, just short of the goal line.
Now, let me tell you, that play design was pretty perfect. They set Page in motion across the side, so everybody's keying on the guy who just got the last touchdown.
Yeah.
He flashes out in front. Everybody follows him, leaves room for number 4 in the backfield in the flat. They dump it off to him, and Page becomes the lead blocker. Great play design. Great ingenuity. I imagine that's Big Mac drawing that stuff up. He's a great coach, and it's good to see well-executed plays with great play designs actually have success out here.
I was just getting ready to say also perfectly executed.
For sure.
So not just the design perfect, but the execution perfect as well. And that kind of shows why they're probably sitting atop the division.
I would agree.
Rock in the backfield, one back with him, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Hands
And
it
he
off
walks
to Wilkerson. And touchdown, Las Vegas Force.
So it took another 15, 20 minutes, but they do eventually end up getting in the end zone after that touchdown gets called back with the 17 fumbles and pitchy woo-woo. Pitchy woo-woo rarely works.
Yes, it very rarely does.
Give credit to my I'm a big fan of Scott Van Pelt. His pitchy woo-woo on the late nights after NFL Live. I'm going to use that until I come up with my own.
Extra point is a 1-point try. To the end zone, in and out of the hands of Siva.
And the push-ups.
And he's going to do push-ups because he knows that's all on him. He's like, I'm either going to run laps or I'm going to do push-ups. I'll get down and do some push-ups. I'll do some push-ups for you, Rock. My bad.
And I'm sorry to keep bringing up guys I used to play with, but Siva was our tight end and D-end when we played, and he is a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely,
Pardon the play on words on that one. but that dude can move without the ball and usually has great hands, which were not on display with that last drop.
And don't be sorry for bringing up any type of inside information that you have on any of the players on the field, because that just adds to the broadcast.
Yeah, so now that you bring that up, Charlie Siva, his dad was one of our coaches for the Las Vegas Lions back 5-6 years ago, and he was the stud DN tight end that was my key outlet guy as a quarterback. So he's been out, hasn't played in 3 seasons, and Big Mac heard he was sitting on the sidelines not doing much, so he talked him into getting off the couch and signing with the Force, and he's out here playing today.
Braylon with the throw to the 18-yard line, taken by Slow, and Slow is wrapped up in a hurry at the 30-yard line and drug down. Boy, I've been waiting to say that for a while. Slow, wrapped up in a hurry.
These nicknames will certainly throw you off. I understand how hard announcers have it in the regular leagues where there are not nicknames and you have to try to pronounce all these weird names. But when these guys have nicknames that are the antithesis of who they are, like Big Slim and he'll be a 450-pound guy, it makes it tough on you. You want to giggle every time you say it.
Absolutely. As soon as I saw that name on the roster, I was just thinking of different ways I could interpret his name into the call when he gets the ball. DeCove. See, there I go with my broadcaster mind again, adding that E in there. That's a silent E there, Cove.
And that's the beauty of why I like working with your partner. Oh, look at this.
Play in motion.
Oh,
and it's
ball,
intercepted. That is Junior on the interception, and he takes it to the right side. And he's going to go all the way to the house, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Las Vegas Force. 10:15 remaining in the first quarter. And it is now an 18-0 shutout by your Las Vegas Force.
That gives us your score, 18 for your Las Vegas Force.
And I don't know why they had his number crossed out, like they didn't expect him to play, or if I looked at his number wrong, but that looked like number 22 to me.
It did look like number 22 to me as well.
So I'm going to say that was Davis Jr.
Okay, yeah, that was 22.
So that's
but there
Davis
is another,
Jr.?
Marcel Bridges.
Oh, Marcel
Yeah,
Bridges.
that's one
Okay,
of-
that's why
one
they
of the
marked it
last
out.
ads.
I called the wrong name. Excuse me, we had 2 of those on there. That is Bridges. There was Bridges taking it to the house. Sorry about that, partner. If you watch this broadcast later and hear your name called wrong, that is totally on me.
The Vegas
Here we
fans
go.
are out here losing their mind. The Vegas Force, who was 1-2 coming into this game, are absolutely handling the undefeated vibe. 1-1, excuse me. I thought they were 1-2. I forgot they had a bye week already. A little too high.
Throws the ball to the end zone for 1, and it is too high and incomplete. Still makes the score 18-0 with 9:16 remaining in the first.
And as much as we want to celebrate
Or
the
no, in the second,
victories
my bad, second
and the success the Force is having, that Achilles heel of the extra points is still plaguing them. I think they've converted 2 extra points all season so far. Now they got 3 touchdowns today and still only 18 points to show for it. They're going to need to shore that up as they get closer to the playoffs, because that could be what makes or breaks a game.
Absolutely. And now, are these seeding games that we were talking about earlier, are they taking place next week?
So next week we have our final game of the regular season, week 5. We got 5 teams in our division between Las Vegas and California. So it means each team will play each other once, with each team getting a bye within that 5 weeks. And then after that completes, we have our Vegas versus Vegas seeding game. That'll be week 6. Here comes the throw off.
Here comes the throw off. Braylon with the throw. It's going to make it all the way down to the 17-yard line. Taken by, that looks like that's DeCove. And it is. And he's spun down and out of bounds at the 32-yard line. They might spot him at the 33.
After that nice throw and run back,
So about
let
a
me finish
16-yard run back there.
finish the explanation. I'm sorry, Carter, didn't mean to step on you.
No, you're good.
But so week 6 will be the seeding round of our playoffs. So we'll have the number 3 seeded team, which right now is the Insomniacs, versus the number 2 seeded team, which right now is the Pit Bosses. That could change after the next couple weeks, but for now, that would be who it would be. And the winner of that game gets the benefit of traveling to LA to take on the number 1 seed from LA, which right now would be the Vibe, and the number 2 seed from LA will travel to Vegas to play the 1 seed who will have had the bye from week 6. So these Vegas teams are fighting for that 1 bye so that they can host the lower seed from LA who will travel to Vegas.
Awesome. Cover push play in motion. Rolls out, throws downfield, wide open to Slow, and Slow's going to truck it into the end zone for the touchdown. That is a 67-yard throw and run for the touchdown to put 6 on the board for the Vibe.
That was a straight-up dime. He got behind the entire defense. They had absolutely no chance. All the Cove had to do was drop it in the breadbasket, and it was a perfect ball. Receiver caught it completely in stride, did not need to slow down, did not need to speed up. It was like a long-distance handoff.
It was. It absolutely was. 7:38 remaining in the first half.
And I'll tell you what, as a receiver, that is exactly the ball you want to see. You want to not break stride, not have to take an extra breath to pick up your speed, not have to reach back behind you and get a ball.
That was perfectly
If you
executed.
get that ball and you drop it, you're fired. But no drama there. We had a little bobble, but he brought
there
it
was a
in
little
and walked
bobble
into
there.
the end zone. Actually dove into the end zone and had his little swimming celly.
I can only imagine what DeCove would have had him do if he would have dropped that ball. Run 1 lap all the way around the track to make up for it. Something.
I'm sure we'd still be breaking up that fight.
Probably. Puts the extra point in motion, chunks to the end zone, in and out of the hands of OTF.
What were we just talking about? When he
OTF,
drops
you better run some lap, buddy.
He drops it right in
He
the
drops
bread
it right
basket.
into his hands, and he just went, don't want it, no thank you.
I think he thought that it was a alley-oop pass and he can dribble and dunk it, and now we're playing football today.
Yes, we are. We are definitely playing football today. I'm sure DeCove will have a conversation with OTF, as that's not the first ball that OTF has dropped today. That was pretty much a perfectly thrown ball.
Some discussion on the field. I have no idea what's going on the extra point.
See what this discussion is about here.
Hopefully we can get an explanation from the referees and figure out what's going on. Chris, come back. Chris, what you got? What you got? Do you know what's happening on the field right now? We got a false start on the offensive decline, so that won't have any effect on the game whatsoever. It looks like we're back to playing ball, and we should have a throw-off.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, no worries, man. They just stopped play for a really long time, so I didn't know if I missed something while I was coordinating up here. Good call. Crazy. I had to. What are y'all doing? Was there any song like that? I mean, wow, that song that.
Let's get ready here for the throw off.
Go for Derek. So it looks like the confusion on the field was that the referees did not see the drop, so they were expecting that they were automatically going to accept the penalty. But obviously, with the conversion not being made, there's no reason for the team to accept the penalty, so they decline, and we're on. We're on to the game. Oh, bad decision.
Bad decision there.
So the Force will have a very, very difficult starting position from their own 4-yard line.
So it looks like the Force will have the ball to start. And there's a flag down on the play as well. Sorry, I didn't see what happened there. I was trying to get my volumes right.
Got a little laundry on the field.
There is a little laundry, so we'll see what this flag is about.
Oh, and then you picked it up, so that's another flag.
And there's another flag there. And there's another one there. Multiple flags on the play, 3 flags.
I'm not sure what the first one was for, but I believe the second one was for picking up the flag by the Vibe player, and the third one was for him complaining about picking up the flag, but we shall see.
Yeah, we'll see what all they give here and how far the ball moves forward. Because all those are dead ball fouls, or at least 2 of those are dead ball fouls.
If I'm right.
Yep. He threw all 3 like he was penalizing 3 different times. He didn't just throw like, hey, I'm joking here. And, you know, it didn't look like he was playing at all. It looks like he was trying to get the game under control.
And no mention, no wave off, no nothing. So I believe those 3 flags either were declined or waved off.
Either way, it's still forced ball at the 5-yard line. Rocking an empty backfield, takes snap. Now he's going to run it up the middle. He jukes a defender, breaks free, breaks another one up to the 20-yard line and taken down finally about the 21-yard line. And that'll be a first down for the Force.
So, again, great play design, right? So, after they have that great play on the other side of the field where they drop it off to the flat, he fakes that throw to the flat, and they've got a run play set the entire time with 2 lead blockers. He gets into the secondary, picks up 14, 15 yards. Great play. And, yes, he is different. First and 10 from the 20-yard line for the Force.
Rock puts
4
play in
minutes
no
and 15
motion, hands
seconds
it off
left
to
to play
Wilkerson.
in the half.
Wilkerson jukes the defender,
Stiff
gets
arm.
breaks loose. He's
Another
at the
one.
40, the 45, 30,
Riding him
35,
down.
and down to the truck down at about the 32-yard line after it was almost a 35-yard run at least.
Our PA guy just said that our running back looked like the local transit bus steaming down and carrying people with him. I love it when comedy and football comes together and it makes sense. That was a beautiful call.
Absolutely is. Oop. Lost a 3 on that play. Sorry. Had my mic muted as I was trying to work some things through on the board here. Force are in a huddle. Now they break the huddle. And Rock brings the team to the line. He's got 2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Empty backfield. 2nd down and 13. 2:06 in the second quarter. Throw, and that's Trey. And Trey is out of bounds at the 26-yard line. 27-yard line maybe, just short of the first down. And that was the 2-minute warning of the half. So that's a 2-minute warning. We're going to take a small timeout right here and try to see what these teams are going to do in the last 2 minutes when they get back to action. And there we go. We got 2 minutes on the clock. Both teams are ready to go. Back to action. Rock breaks the huddle, brings team to the line. He's got 1 back in the backfield, 2 receivers left, 1 receiver right. Zone coverage by the defense. And there's a flag there, and that's going to be an illegal motion or a false start on the offense, and that's going to back them up 5 yards. It's going to make this a 3rd and about 8 instead of, oh no, this is going to make it a 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11 now instead of a 3rd and 6. Rock breaks the huddle. He's got 2 wide receivers again to the left, 1 to the right, 1 back in the backfield. That's Wilkerson, who's been doing the leg work from the running back position all day long. He now shuffles him over to the right side from the left. Puts the play in motion. He's looking downfield to throw. He's going deep, and that ball is intercepted in the end zone by OTF. And he just got his defense off the field.
Well,
OTF.
Effectively a 3rd down punt from the 35-yard line for the Force, because taking the ball into the end zone, and they should bring it back to the 20. Unfortunate turn of events for the Force. Probably a bad decision on the part of Rock, but it was a 50-50 ball, and your receiver's supposed to come back and win that battle. He did not come back to the ball. The defender was ready, scooped it out of the air, turnover, and Santa Monica Vibe trying to protect their undefeated season.
And here we go, Las Vegas. Force on defense now. As they set up in a
It's like a
zone
formation.
coverage.
Spread formation by the offense. 3 receivers left. 1 guy in the backfield. Now they're spread.
Motions him out to the right side. 1 receiver right, 3 to the left. DeCove takes a snap. He rolls left. He's going to run. He's at the 25, loses the ball out of bounds, luckily for him, at the 27-yard line.
And the Force have really shored up their short play defense. I got to be honest. They look like they don't have any gaps past the 5-yard line. They got from 5 to 15 covered. So to beat them, you're going to need to go short or go deep, because that intermediate stuff they seem to have on lock.
Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. As it is 18-6 still here with 1:15 left in the half. There's a timeout there on the field, I believe, taken by the Vibe. This would be a good opportunity to shout out some people.
So quick game reset. As my partner just said, 18-6. They got 1:15 left. We are in the 2-minute warning. Like the NFL, the 2-minute warning stops the play after every incomplete pass or run or play out of bounds or a penalty stop. So a minute and 15 left. The Vibe had the ball on the 22-yard line. They got a long way to go in a minute and 15 seconds, but as you can see, they do have a big play, quick hit offense is how they got on the board with their 6 points. Let's see if they can narrow the lead to a 1-score game or if the Force will go into the half up 2 scores.
I could go either way here, really, at this point with 1:15 left. Still enough time to even turn the ball over if they're not careful. So, empty backfield here. DeCove takes the play in motion. Rolls left. Now rolls back to the right, and he's going to be slung down at the 20-yard line. That's going to be a sack by big number 20, who I do not have a number or a name for. That was number 20 on the sack. It's 2-0.
2-0. We got nothing down here.
It was 2-0. It was 2-0 on the sack.
We don't have a name for him on our roster sheet, but that's okay. We'll find out at halftime and let you know. Oh, his name is T.O.? Yes. I thought you were saying his number was 2-0. That's what I heard. Oh, okay.
Okay, I guess that is T.O. T-I-E-O. And there's a throw deep, and it's caught by OTF inbounds at the Force 45-yard line. That was about a good 30-yard catch, passing catch
big
there.
Big play, putting themselves in scoring range and giving themselves a shot to narrow it down to a 1-score game going into the half.
And that'll make a big difference whether you're down 1, down 2. That'll make a difference in how you come out at halftime, what your game plan will be.
Also, absolutely. You also don't want to score too early and give the Force a chance to score before they go into the half.
And you can hear the Force's coach from up here getting into his defense. He's not happy with how that play turned out for sure.
I can't hear what Big Mac is saying, but I can see the veins bursting off the back of his head from up here.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You can't necessarily hear exactly what he's saying, but you can hear him hollering, and the motions he's making, you know he's not happy.
Quick reset, 52 seconds left in the half. 1st and 10 for the Vibe coming out of the timeout. Losing by 2 scores, down 18-6.
Yeah, as it's been, first half of the game has basically been the Force all over the Vibe. But the Vibe are making a late run.
And the name of this game has been turnovers.
Yes, it has. Absolutely has. DeCove in the backfield, empty. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Since 37 in motion, that's going to be O. They just call him O. And he runs it around the right side and picks up about 5 yards on the play to the 40-yard line. 42 seconds left in the half.
That's a run with a running clock. Coach on the Vibe is saying hurry it up.
DeCove puts the play in motion. He's got defenders all over him. He's going to roll left. Throw almost intercepted. That was Anthony Smith as a defender.
An incomplete pass.
Incomplete pass stops the clock. 25 seconds on the clock. Bringing up 3rd and 5 here.
Sounds like we got some Broncos fans in the stands. I just heard someone do the 3-syllable incomplete.
Sound like it. Yeah, I heard it.
Hey, football fandom travels everywhere, baby.
Yes, they do.
That's the one thing I love about this sport. Football fans are football fans no matter which version of the game they're looking at.
Cove has one back in the backfield. 3 receivers out to the right. He rolls right. He takes it one-on-one versus defender and gets just enough for the first down.
He's short. He's short.
They're short of the first down. They're going to mark him short.
He spun forward, but he was down 2 yards short, or a yard and a half short.
$20 on the clock.
Copy that.
20 seconds left in the half.
It's 4th down. Start time on the snap, you said? Did they call a timeout?
I guess so. It is 4th down. I guess they called a timeout.
Big play coming here. If they don't convert this, they leave roughly 15 seconds on the clock for the Force to try to do something.
Covey one back in the backfield. Or DeCove one back in the backfield. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. He takes it himself up the middle. He gets the yard to the 30-yard line, but now he's got a running clock. 12 seconds left. 11, 10. And there's a timeout there. Timeout Vibe with 8 seconds on the clock. 18-6 is the score. Looks like they're going to leave it up to one play to go to the end zone.
Say 8 seconds from the 30-yard line. Unfortunately for the Vibe, that is one shot. You don't have enough time to get 2 plays off unless you do a real quick hitter.
Now, if you were inside the 10, you might have two plays with a timeout maybe left, but I'm not sure if they have one left or if they've used them all, but I know they've taken at least 2, so they have at least maybe one left.
Yeah, now I will say with the quarterback starting with the ball in his hand, he can literally release the ball right at the snap. And if you have a guy just running an inside streak on a post, you can get 2 plays in, but I just don't see that happening.
No.
And it's done.
And he's taken down in the backfield at the 42-yard line for a sack and a loss of 12. And that ends the first half of action. Las Vegas Force 18. The visiting Santa Monica Vibe 6.
What a great half of football, partner.
Yes, it was a very great half of football there. Wouldn't expect much less out of 2 teams atop their divisions taking on each other, battling.
Santa Monica Vibe 6. As we prepare for the throw-off, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for your Las Vegas Force.
Yeah. Close. Okay. All right. We are back here live in Canyon Springs. It's A7FL Nevada. It's the second half of the Vegas Force versus the Santa Monica Vibe. We are live on YouTube as well. Force leading coming out of the half 18-6 as they dominated in the first half. It's been a very, very big defensive battle so far.
All right, as we come back, we learned that our stream went down for the first half of Game 2, but it is back on, and hopefully the fans can see it. Hopefully the fans can hear us. And the throw-off is off. Takes it at about the 10.
Jukes him out of his shoes and out to the 25.
And the defender, number 18, Terry Flowers, comes up limping a little bit. I hope he's going to be okay.
All right, sorry, I had to do a little bit of a promotion there to re-promote that live stream for us.
No worries. Glad to have you back, partner. Don't be afraid to let me know you need me to carry it for a minute. I don't know that I have those types of skills, but I will certainly try. I've never tried the play-by-play thing myself before. It's a little daunting to try to give the visual story of what's happening. I'm not well-versed in that, and you are an award winner at that, so I'd like to just lay back and let you handle that part of it. But when you need me, I'm here for you.
Yeah, all right. DeCove in the backfield, 2 backs with him. 1 receiver to the left. Bunch to the right. Takes a snap.
Fumbles.
Hands it, and he slips over the turf monster's fingers.
Well,
and is down at the 25-yard line.
They came back from the half dry. They fumbled the handoff, slipped at the line of scrimmage, loses 2 yards. I hope for the vibe's sake this is not the way the second half is going to go.
Hopefully not, as they're already down 18-6, so they need to get something going to get back into this game. Jacoby, 2 backs in the backfield, 1 receiver left. 1 on the line to the right. Puts play in motion, hands off to Forrest. Forrest around the right side and is taken down behind the line for a loss of 2. And he was taken down with force on that play. The Vibe are in a huddle. A little bit of a wind kick there, kicking the.
Third down for the Vibe.
Be 3rd down Vibe here.
Ball on the 25-yard line.
Kobe puts play in motion, fakes the handoff, rolls to the left. He's at the 20, the 25, the 27, and out of bounds at about the 28-yard line.
I would tell you that him going out of bounds looked like a business decision because Branch was bearing down on him, and that's the last dude I'd want to get tackled by too. That is a lot of meat chasing you down. He is fast and strong and will lay you out. He was the MVP of Game 1 for the Force.
Yes, he was.
With a sack, strip, fumble, and score to win the game.
Yeah. I was going to say he was the one that stripped them and took it to the house. This is a 4th down and 5 for the Vibe. Kobe puts the play in motion with an empty backfield.
Russian
Rolls to the
3.
right, and he's going to run it
Can't
himself.
contain.
He's at the 35, 40, 45, and slung down at about the 48-yard line. That is a 1st down.
So the Force rushed 3 there, but when you rush 3, when you have a running quarterback like that, you have to remember to keep outside contained or he's going to slip out the back door almost every time. Having been a player D coordinator in flag, you playing these spread offenses, you see it all the time. And guys who don't respect the position and don't watch the back door and contain wide, they always get beat to the outside. They always want to rush inside because it's easier and the offensive line is giving it to them. But they're giving it to them because they want you to go that way so their quarterback can slip out.
Absolutely.
Big mistake.
DeCove in the backfield, empty set. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Takes a snap, quick throw. were caught by Slow and taken down immediately. Short gain of 2, maybe 3 on the play. 9:55 remaining in the third quarter. Score still 18-6. The force on top of the Vibe.
Yeah, Tuggy Wilson out there, number 3, with that skull cap on, looking like he dyed his hair blonde. It was freaking me out there for a second. But it's just a skull cap.
See what
And
the
these
Vibe
old
can do
eyes
here.
just don't work the way they used to.
See what the Vibe can get going here as it is second down and 8 with 9:23 remaining in the third quarter, down 12. One back in the backfield. That is going to be O. 2 receivers left, 1 right.
No,
Takes
they
a
didn't have 2
snap,
on the line. That
takes
should have
play
been
in
a legal
motion,
formation.
looks to throw, finds O wide open at the 50 and out of bounds. Let's see where they mark him. Looks like they're going to mark him at the 49. That should be third down and 6. 3rd and 7.
Now, they looked to me like that should have been a legal formation. They did not have 3 on the line after the shift, but not called.
Covey with 2 backs in the backfield. 1 receiver left, 1 right. Takes snap, rolls left, looks to throw. Now rolls back right. He's going to have to get away from number 21, and he goes down and is taken down officially at the 35-yard line for an 11-yard loss on the play.
And DeCove looks like he's hurt.
And, yeah, he looks like he's hurt, and I don't think that's just his feelings. 8:18 remaining on the third quarter. Score still 18-6. Number 1, DeCove, the quarterback for the Santa Monica Vibe, still down after being sacked.
Now,
Let's hope he can get up.
partner, this is eerily familiar to the last game we just watched and
Yes,
called.
it is.
We had one team up by 2 or 3 scores. The team who's trying to recover loses their quarterback to injury in the middle of the game and effectively ends the losing, or the team that's down's chances of coming back. We don't know that to be the case here today. Hopefully, DeCove is going to be okay, and he is just shaken up a little bit. But they do have the stretcher out there.
He's
we'll see
sitting
how it
up,
all
though.
goes. He is sitting up, which is a great sign. And looks like he's
Up
getting up
under
on his own power.
There you go.
Fans are clapping it up.
Give him a clap for being able to get up and walk that one off.
And big shout out to AMR. We love the work they do, but our best day is when they have to do no work.
Absolutely. But it's good to have a professional staff like that on hand in case we do need them, though. This is football, full contact with no pads, so things do happen.
And like we said, player safety is the most important thing about the A7FL. It is an exciting brand of football because we do play with no pads and no helmets, but because of that, we have to take extra safety precautions and make sure we're teaching guys how to tackle properly, not lead with their heads, not lead with their shoulders, break down and tackle properly. And if they don't, they run the risk of injury. And, of course, when they don't, we've got AMR standing by to help sort out whatever may go wrong immediately.
AMR has always been very professional with their services. So a huge shout out and thank you to them for being on hand with paramedics. Looks like Rosales is going to take over quarterbacking right now. 2 receivers to the left, 1 receiver to the right. It's going to be a big third down. Takes a snap, throws just out of the hands of OTF.
Now, with their primary offensive weapon out of the game, Vibe has looks like Dakota's back in.
There you go.
Let me just take that back.
Just a little shooken up was all. He said, what? You said I'm out? No, I'm not out of the game. Here I am. I'm right here.
Vegas, let your Las Vegas Force hear you. It's 4th down.
This is a big 4th down here as it's about 20 yards. 4th and 20. That's 4th in Reno. I think that's the right direction-ish. Maybe 4th in L.A. Cove puts play in action, rolls to the left, steps up, chunks it downfield. There's 3 back and caught by OTF at the 25-yard line and taken down. They were 20 yards from the first down and gained another 15 on top of it. So that was a 35-yard throw and catch in triple coverage.
Quadruple coverage. There were 4 guys there.
Was there 4?
And he
I saw
is the
3.
only one who came back to the ball and fought back to the ball. That is DB 101.
I missed a guy. I only saw 3.
Because one guy was standing underneath him because he jumped over the top of him, stepped over him like LeBron.
Oh. And Cove puts this play in motion. He's at the 30, rolls around left side and taken out and slung down at the 26 or 27.
Looks like what should have possibly been called a horse collar
Yeah, I was
tackle,
gonna
but he
say
let
that
go
looked-
quickly, so I think the referees let it go because he did not pull him all the way to the ground by the horse collar.
And he's going to huddle him up and draw up a play as to Cove.
I cannot wait to go back and look at the replay of that catch.
That was a great catch, absolutely.
It reminded me of when I was a young man, 16, 17 years old or so, and all my nephews and cousins were 6, 7 years old, and we played keep away. Like one man with a bunch of boys falling down around him.
5 minutes left on the third quarter clock. 18-6 is still the score. Force on top. Dakota puts the play in motion. Looks to throw. And
Picked
it's
off.
intercepted.
Oh, there's nobody in between him. That is
Nobody in
6.
between them. That is Braylon, and he's going to take it. He's at 35-30, 25-20, 15-10, 5. Touchdown, Force! Making the score now 24-6 with 4:40 remaining in the third quarter. And the clock is continuing to tick there.
Thanks to our broadcast specialist, we got the clock stopped. I'm sure he will let the very first play let a couple seconds run off before he resumes, or maybe he should put the time back to 4:40. There we go. Time reset to 4:40.
Time reset
all
there
is
on
right
clock,
in the world.
4:40. And Braylon, boy, we're not talking about the rapper Braylon either. He's a DB who just intercepted that ball and took it. And where he caught it from and where he took it to, it's about 80 or 90 yards.
Yeah, I think it was a 95-yard return. We'd have to check that on a replay stats. Did you see where he caught that ball? I'm guessing about
20,
the 22.
78 yards officially is what we're getting from the statistician.
Okay, see, we all have our own revisionist history. Okay. Stat says there was an 80-yard return from the 20-yard line. Now,
Yep.
I noticed that the Force players are running up the sideline with the return man, DB, who ran it in for the end zone. No flag was thrown, but there's a lot of discussion down here, so I'm wondering if that's what they're talking about or what the situation is. Looks like to me they're just complaining that they got beat on the play. So.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It looks like by OTF's reaction, it looks like they're just complaining about getting beat. Sorry, in the A7FL, there is no buying the refs. I said, sorry, in the A7FL, there is no buying off the refs.
Yeah, the refs are actually paid directly by the league, so there's no opportunity for a division to give somebody an unfair advantage, which I appreciate. I think it's the best way to go about it.
That was all jokes and all fun.
Yeah, but, it has happened with some leagues in the past.
Rock takes a snap, hands it to
Oh, that was a big
Big
Siva
man.
around the edge.
Siva, and
Somebody's
the
hurt.
extra point is no good. And someone for the Vibe is down again. Can't see the number on him. I don't know if that's Rosales.
55.
That is Undertaker down on the field.
He's okay.
He's okay. Never mind. They just wanted to see how fast they could get that stretcher out there on the field again.
I don't know if
They want to
you
keep
saw
AMR on their feet, on their
his,
toes.
his motion to let you know that he was okay, but he definitely is okay.
He wasn't hurt. He was just emotionally hurt.
Mark that down. 4:40 left to play after the extra point. Watch 55. Tell us that he's okay. It will be hilarious.
Again, like I said, they were just testing AMR to make sure that they can get the stretcher out there in a timely fashion. You got to keep them on their toes, keep them warmed up. It's already warm out here today, but
They're doing a very good job.
yes, they are.
As cloud cover rolls in over North Las Vegas, giving the fans a little relief,
Say that 10 times fast.
the vibe needs some relief from the force because the defense is absolutely showing out here this afternoon. They have not given the vibe much of anything except for big plays.
Yeah,
all the
absolutely.
underneath stuff is stopped after 5 yards. All the intermediate stuff is knocked down, and the only place they're having success is on the big plays.
Yeah, that is it. And there's the throw by Braylon to the 10-yard line, taken, I believe that is Slow, and Slow is out of bounds at about the 32-yard line.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think Breland was one of the two guys from the Ducks flag football team that were recruited to the force, and one of the two guys that were the winner of our one-on-one competition at the quarterback side. We had two winners because the guys battled it down and decided to chop it up, and those two guys are from the same team. So Breland and his buddy from the Ducks from flag football in Las Vegas took that competition down, and he's out here today doing the throw-offs, interception returns, looking like he might be the primary candidate for player of the game.
Absolutely. In my book, I think he would be.
Well, I mean, we got some other guys who are doing big things too. The tailback is doing a really good job. The quarterback Rock is looking strong out there. We had Trey with the first touchdown of the game, and some good blocks on the second touchdown of the game. So there's some discussions to be had. We like that.
Cove one back in the backfield, two receivers left, one right. Takes this play in motion, hands it off, and there's nothing doing. And they're going to be wrapped up behind the line for about a 5-yard loss.
Yeah, as you mentioned early in the broadcast, partner, it seems like now that the force and these guys have some tape on the vibe, they're understanding what their offense looks like and have devised a defense perfectly for stopping what was hurting the teams they played previously.
.305 left in the third quarter. 24-6 is the score. The forcefully on top of the vibe.
Oh, Force got 7 in the box. They're not respecting the deep ball at all. And, of course, they send somebody deep.
Cove
and this could be it.
throws totally deep and out of the hands of Rosales, who would have had 5 yards on his defender had it had been thrown as accurately as it could have been.
That ball was thrown perfectly. He slowed up for no reason. It literally was going to be a long handoff. He would have caught it right in stride and decided to slow up. When he decided to slow up, he slipped a little bit. And when he tried to recover, he stumbled and dropped the ball.
Yep. That is all on the receiver there.
And interesting, the Force up by 3 scores now at this point. They are still playing press coverage and man coverage tight on the line when the only thing the Vibe has been able to beat them on is the deep ball.
Yeah.
Why?
You would think you'd be putting 4 people deep and 3 on the line.
I mean, strategy-wise, they say when you're up by more than 2 scores, keep everything in front of you and play a little bit of not necessarily prevent, but keep everything in front of you so you can stop the big plays.
They're only covering the short, 5 to 10-yard routes, and that seems to be all they're worried about.
And now they're dropping 4 in coverage.
Kobe push play in motion, rolls to the right. Now he comes back to the left. He's pointing to where to defend, and he gets taken down hard by Lynham of the Force.
So usually what I like to see in this position on defense is rush 3, drop 2 intermediate, drop 2 deep. That way you stop the intermediate passes from being so open, stop people from beating you over the top, especially on 4th down. But you got to rush 3. You got to have pressure on that quarterback, because if you don't, he's got all day, and he will either run and kill you out of the backfield or stand there and pick you apart when you're in a zone.
Absolutely. 1 minute left on the clock in the third quarter. Jacoby with the ball, one back in the backfield, two receivers to the left, one receiver to the right. Kind of an umbrella defense being played by the Force. As they rush two, and the two get to the line,
again,
but Cove gets the ball out of his hand, but it's going to be right to the defender and in and out of the defender's hand, who became the receiver. And that was Smith who almost intercepted that pass.
And
that's
nice
a turnover.
Pass breakup by the receiver.
Yes, it was, absolutely. The receiver had to become the defender there. It's all for naught, as that is a turnover on downs, giving the Force the ball back with 24 seconds left in the third.
You know, partner, you bring up an interesting point.
Court.
If he had let him catch that ball, they would have been a much better field position
Yeah.
on defense. But as it is now, they turn the ball over on downs, and the Force has the ball at the 35-yard line, the 33-yard line, and a very short field.
Yeah,
Already
5
up by 3
territory.
scores. But guess what they haven't done yet today? They have not scored one extra point.
No, they have not. That's why we are at an exact 3-touchdown lead and not a 4-touchdown lead or more. Handoff to Wilkerson. Wilkerson gets around the edge to the 20, the 15. He's dragging people with him, and finally down and out of bounds at the 14-yard line. That's a first down for the Force.
And I think our PA announcer gave him the perfect nickname. We're going to start calling him RTC, because every time he gets the ball, he is taking people with him. For those of you who don't know, Las Vegas's bus transit line is the RTC, the Regional Transportation Commission. Shout out to City of Las Vegas, Clark County, for having such a wonderful system for us to play with here in Las Vegas.
And that ends the third quarter there. Score 24-6 still. The Force on top of the visiting Vibe, which is just the way we like to see it. Now they're going to flip field for the fourth quarter of action. Take a second here to shout out my cohort from Oklahoma that I used to broadcast with, and my mentor, one I look up to, who I will say has a lot to do with the success I am having and the role I have taken on. Glenn Griffin in Tonkwall, Oklahoma. Hello and thank you for watching, buddy.
In the middle of our third quarter break, we're going to go ahead and say hello to our sponsors, starting with AMR, who has been very active on the field in this second game. Luckily, they've not had to carry anyone off, and everyone seems to have recovered from their shaken up times. So thank you, AMR, for everything you do for us. Deco Lights. Of course, I am the owner of Deco Lights, and because of Deco Lights, we are able to bring you the A7FL today. And all my income that I make comes from them. So thank you, Deco, for providing me with the platform to be able to provide everyone with this from Las Vegas. Starting off into the fourth quarter, here we go.
It's absolutely awesome that you use that income to fund your league here, your division here.
Yeah, I saw them advertising that they were taking investors and opening teams and divisions and things of that nature, and I just knew that I had to get involved.
And there's a touchdown by the Las Vegas Force. That is Antoine Rainey, who carried a defender with him into the end zone for the touchdown.
And as they say, no cap. His baseball cap fell off as he was running across the end zone. So, Rainey into the end zone, no cap.
And now the score is 30-6 with 14:45 left in the fourth quarter. That's the Force forcefully on top of this game over the Vibe.
I got to say, myself included, I don't think anyone saw this as the outcome of the game today. The
No.
undefeated Santa Monica Vibe, who had been competing with every team they played with and outlasting everyone, down 4 scores in the fourth quarter.
Getting their doors blown off.
And primarily because a great defensive effort.
And incomplete on the extra point try as he ran out of bounds before he got to the end zone, I believe.
Wow. I thought they had successfully converted their first conversion of the day, and the referee waves it off. I thought he stuck the ball out before he stepped out of bounds, but I've been wrong before. It was 3 or 4 years ago.
Not very often. I was going to say not very often,
Yeah,
but you have been wrong before.
Yeah, there was once I thought I was wrong, and it turned out I was right, so therefore I was wrong.
Yeah, there we go. It's about how I think. So, yeah, but going back to what you were saying, I don't think anybody expected this with, I mean, your 2 top-tier teams of their divisions coming in and matching up against each other. When I was promoting this, I was touting, this is going to be a heavily action-packed, very exciting and close game, and one that's going to be a treat to watch. And if you get a chance, please do watch it.
Well, as you
And
said,
here we
partner,
are, 4 scores.
all of
being
those
the
things
difference.
are true except for it being close.
Yeah, except for it being close.
I will tell you the fans here in Las Vegas have not been treated to a blowout win so far.
And the throw-off goes to the 15-yard line, picked up by Rosales. And he's taken down, spun down. They're going to mark him at the 30-yard line. That was about a 20-yard return there. Got 14:20 remaining on the fourth quarter clock. And the Force up by 4 scores. Still yet to convert an extra point.
At this point, I don't think they care, being up by 4 scores and not very much danger of letting this one slip away. But it's something they're definitely going to have to correct by the time we get to the playoffs. And guess what? The playoffs are only 2 weeks away.
Right.
Now, the way it sits right now, the Force would have
Defense is back on the field.
the Force would have that first bye, but that's not guaranteed. Or maybe it will be after today, now that I'm thinking about it, with the Pit Bosses having 1 win. The Force, if the score ends the way it is, will have 2. And, so I guess not quite set yet. We still have to play next week's games. And then if the Force do end up with that bye, they'll have some time to work on the extra point conversion opportunity thing.
Yeah. And I would say if you're the Force, you almost want to hope you don't play the Pit Bosses. Because the Pit Bosses coach earlier touted and said, we're going to run the table from here on out. So get ready.
No, it is a live ball. It is a live ball. He is not down.
Must have been some confusion on the throw-off being when he picked it up and he was on his knee being down or not. So they were making sure that he was actually not down and he wasn't.
Yeah, so if you muff the punt on the muff the throw off, it is a live ball, and you have to be contacted to be down unless you give yourself up.
Jacoby puts it in motion and hands off to Rosales, who rolls around to the left and is taken down immediately in the backfield for a loss of 3.
Man, this Force defense, I'm telling you, everything 5 yards to 15 yards, they are knocking down out of the air, and they are stifling the run.
Yeah, I was going to say any run that comes at them, too, it's like a brick wall getting ran into time after time again, and the brick wall's not giving.
Right, that might only be the 3rd handoff that I remember from the Vibe in this game. And maybe it's because their offense has been so one-dimensional, why the Force's defense is really doing such a good job against them. Here's another run.
Absolutely. That's another run by Rosales. That time he gets up to the 35-yard line. So that brings up 3rd and 5. And a little more manageable now for the Vibe on 3rd down. as at this point for the Vibe, you just want to basically start to get some things going right. Start working on some things and correcting some things throughout the game.
Yeah, they're trying to get their momentum back. We got a player injured on the sideline for the Force, getting some attention from looks like a trainer for the Force. AMR coming over to lend a hand. I can't see who that is yet. I thought it was number 13. He's holding his shoulder.
Looks like it is
And
13.
I think that might be the second of the OTF Ducks from the Flag League that I was telling you about, whose name I don't remember. Anthony Smith. Okay.
Kobe puts ball in motion, hands it to OTF, and OTF goes up the middle for about 3 yards and is taken down where it'll be about 4th down and 2.
Ball on the 39-yard line.
And 3 straight basically run plays. The last one will be recorded as a pass because it was a quick shovel. But Vibe changing their offense a little bit, trying to get something going into the – who knows what they're trying to do with down 4 points. Down 4 scores. You'd think they'd be airing it out at this point. But as you said, partner, they're trying to get something going.
Yeah, try to get something going, try to correct some mistakes that they've been making throughout the game. Being down 4 scores, that's the perfect time to start working on some things because you're not going to come back most likely and win. So you might as well start getting some good things going to look for next week. Kobe puts the ball in motion, runs it himself right up the middle, and gets the first down after a gain of about 4, is taken down.
Nice play and run. Breland was in that backfield trying to trip him up before he got going, but the Cove, that dude is fast and shifty. So it seems like people are able to catch him when he's running lateral, but when he's moving forward, he is tough to stop.
Yeah, he's got some – you get him moving forward, and he picks up some speed quickly, and he has some moves on him as well. So he has not been easy to wrap up and tackle for sure. Is 10 left in the 4th quarter, score 30-6. Still Force on top. Rosales now at quarterback, puts the play in motion, rolls to the right, and across the 50 to the 46-yard line and out of bounds. That should be a first down.
I am pretty sure that was a design draw the entire play. They caught the Force in man, wait for them to turn their backs, drop back, and then take off.
Well, they're going to say that he stepped out at the 50. So this will be 2nd down with 9.5 minutes left. $9:15 now on the clock. Rosales still at quarterback, empty backfield, 2 receivers to the left, 2 receivers to the right. Calls the play in motion, rolls left. Now he's going to take it himself. He's across the 50 to the 45 and struck and rode out of bounds at the 42-yard line.
First down, 5.
It's a first down for the Santa Monica Vibe with 8:45 remaining in the game. Now let's see what the Vibe look to do here after getting that first down, and they're now in Force territory.
First down for the Vibe.
Rosales still the quarterback, 1 back in the backfield with him. That's El Nino, I mean. Rosales puts play in motion, hands it to El Nino, and El Nino up the middle for about 3 yards is all he gets to the 40-yard line. They mark him at about the 41, actually. Should be 2nd down now. Rosales, 1 back in the backfield. That's El Nino. 2 receivers to the right. or to the left. Handoff, fakes the handoff and keeps it himself up the middle across the 40 to the 38-yard line. Taken down. Looks like they were marking him at the 39 where it'll be third down. It's about 3rd and 7, it looks like. 7:15 remaining on the clock.
Thank you, partner. I appreciate you with the game reset. I love our press box and how we have our setup here at Hunky Cooper Field at Canyon Springs High School, but there are obstructions that either stop me from seeing the game or stop me from seeing the scoreboard each week, and this week it's a scoreboard I can't see.
Yes, it is.
And my counting down in the back of my head skills are not very good.
No. I don't think anybody's counting down in the back of their head skills are very good. Rosales puts play in motion, looks to launch it deep, and the only person close to the ball was Braylon, and he wasn't even close enough to make a play on it.
Looks like the quarterback didn't get all he wanted on that ball. It looks like the ball even slipped out of his hands a little bit before he threw it.
And that's going to be 4th down and 7 now, with 6:20 remaining on the clock. And they've made the switch at quarterback and put Rosales in at quarterback the last 2 or 3 plays.
Yeah, I can see DeCove from here. It looks like he's a little shaken up on the sideline. He's hanging his head a little bit, kind of nursing his arm. So I don't know if they finally just decided being down 4 scores it was enough and not risk injury to their star quarterback, or if he's actually hurt.
That could have very well been. See him over there with his arm wrapped around his player there talking to somebody. And now we get a new quarterback in, and that is O. With Rosales in the backfield with him. O takes a snap and not going to go nowhere. Going to be taken down for a 2-yard loss, and that's a turnover on down, giving the ball back to the Las Vegas Force. And I'm not quite sure what the idea was there, except for maybe let's try something new and see if it'll work.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Big man like that, back in the backfield at quarterback, I think that was just a let's see what we can do and make it work.
Yeah, I don't care who you
scratch
put
that one
back
off
there.
the let's see if it'll work list and put that over into the will not work.
Well, if it's going to work, they're going to need better blocking no
Exactly.
matter who's at quarterback. The Force were in the backfield the minute he said go. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know
So-
if that was supposed to be some score to screen, but whatever it was, it did not look right.
Absolutely. So put it in the will not work list with parentheses that says better defense. Or better O-line.
Right.
That's all they need is a better O-line to make that one work. Play in action there. Slung down.
Interesting. It looked like a wishbone with 2 guys at the point of contact to hand the ball off to.
And that was Alexander who got slung down there. There's 4 minutes left in the game. 30-6 is still the score. Las Vegas Force on top. Rock puts play in motion, hands it off to Alexander, and Alexander trucks Rosales
Solid run for your Las Vegas Force.
and runs him down to the
First down.
37-yard line, and then there's some chirping back and forth between Alexander and Rosales, who got trucked.
Yeah, and the Force doing the smart thing, keeping the ball on the ground, keeping the ball inbounds, trying to get this clock done and over with, get out of this thing without any other injuries, imposing their will for the rest of the game. This thing is all over but the crying, and the Force is doing the smart thing, running the ball and ending this game.
Absolutely, that's all there is to it now. With less than 3 minutes on the clock, getting ready to approach the 2-minute warning in about 45 seconds. Play in motion. Rock flips it out to Jones, and Jones around the right side, And that might have been a late hit out of bounds, as he was out of bounds when he took the hit, it looked like. That's going to be enough for a first down and then tack on the yardage after the play.
Now, it looked like it might be unnecessary roughness for hitting a guy up high and not wrapping. Wrap tackling is required in the A7FL.
And I think that's what that was. He did this motion, like a wrap around, so he didn't wrap tackle.
Right. He didn't appear to make any attempt to wrap him up. It looked like it was the
personal
intention
foul.
was the hit, and the referee saw it. And unfortunately, the Vibe are going to argue it, but that is a rule. And
the 15 yards tacked on to the end does not help the situation at all. If it was a closer game, it wouldn't help the situation. It really doesn't hurt the situation any if you're the Vibe today, but.
And we got another dead ball foul.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the Vibe. That'll move them another 15. Or is that half the distance?
And a third.
And a third unsportsmanlike. And he's out.
And an ejection.
And ejected.
And it looks like the coach has now been ejected as well.
Is the coach the one they ejected? I was getting ready to say, is it the coach they ejected or who was it? Because I didn't see who they ejected. I just know they threw the thumb, like, get out of here. And it looks like it. He's walking away. Yep. That was the 2-minute warning there. That should take us to the 2-minute warning anyway.
Looks like the Vibe have decided, since their coach have been ejected, to call it.
Really?
And that's the ball game.
Since the Vibe's coach gets ejected, they the Vibe decided to go ahead and call the game down 30-6, and the coach ejected.